The U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has urged Turkey to quickly free other Americans in detention as a pastor who was held for 2 years is expected back in the U.S. today. A court in the Turkish town of Aliaga convicted Andrew Brunson of terror-related charges and sentenced him to 3 years, but released him, taking into account time served and his good conduct during the trial. Brunson ran a small evangelical Protestant church in Izmir and was held under house arrest. He was arrested over alleged links to political groups, including the banned Gulenist movement, after a failed 2016 coup attempt in Turkey. Tributes have been pouring in for 86-year-old former politician Pik Botha, who died in Pretoria in the early hours of yesterday. He was recently hospitalised for heart problems. Botha was a controversial figure during his long political career, initially defending and selling apartheid to the international community, but declaring his support for President Thabo Mbeki and the ANC in 2000. Lesotho's relationship with South Africa during Botha's tenure as foreign minister can be described as strange. He made countless visits to the Mountain Kingdom on mediation efforts, but he also negotiated agreements to fend off freedom fighters of both countries.
Although completely landlocked, the Mountain Kingdom of Lesotho has always stamped its sovereignty. At the height of apartheid, it was the first outlet for many refugees fleeing persecution. The then Prime Minister Leabua Jonathan had to balance taking in refugees and getting help from South Africa to fend off guerrillas from the Lesotho Liberation Army. On 9 December 1982, apartheid forces flew into Maseru in the wee hours. Phyllis Naidoo outlines those horrors in her book Le Rona Re Batho. It left 30 South Africans and 12 Basotho dead, and an indelible mark on Botha's career as a diplomat.
Even if you had no sense of proper conduct, it would simply have been foolish for the South African government at that stage to try and upset the events. I think you've opened up a matter that has never been resolved and might be taken further, and in that way perhaps help the relatives and family of the people concerned to come to rest with their anxiety.
But Leabua remained defiant, choosing relations with communist Russia and China over South Africa. In early 1986, the Republic shut its borders and put Leabua's government under pressure until it caved in. When Pope John Paul II undertook his first visit to Southern Africa in 1988, he had planned to visit all the frontline states, and he had excluded South Africa due to apartheid. But bad weather and poor landing gear in Maseru forced his plane to land in Johannesburg, and Pik Botha seized the moment and entertained the Pope in the VIP lounge at the then Jan Smuts Airport. He then offered him a high-security convoy to drive him to the Maseru border.
The Pope is very much concerned about conflict situations wherever they occur in the world. And I indicated to him that we certainly support the idea of national reconciliation and of creating peace through negotiation, and not to resort to the bullet to achieve political objectives.
Meanwhile, in Maseru, gunmen held about 60 nuns, children and pilgrims hostage on a bus outside the British High Commission. Again, South Africa deployed troops to quell the crisis.
Et Spiritus Sanctus.
A few months before Botha left Foreign Affairs in 1994, Lesotho faced an army uprising that saw two factions from two barracks waging war against each other in the capital Maseru. Fierce exchanges of mortar and gunfire forced the government to appeal for help.
We are trying to assist the Basotho people to solve their own political and military problems. The committee has stressed this factor in its report.
Botha said South African forces would not intervene, as this would set a disastrous political precedent for settling future conflicts in the region. He kept South African troops on the borders to prevent a spillover. Ntakwana Ngatani, SABC News, Johannesburg.